This June 10th, Level Up Cleveland Concert Series presents Bittersweet Revenge.
You can try to live, but you have to try to die.
Olathia.
Time to rock and roll, ready for the sun,
And Craig Martini. See them all June 10th at the MapleGrove Tavern. Show starts at 8 p.m. 21 or over. Go to levelupcleveland.com for tickets and information. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Level Up Cleveland. This week, we come to you from the MapleGrove Tavern, located out here in Maple Heights, Ohio. And I have with me two very special guests. I have basically the whole sound department from here at the MapleGrove Tavern. I got Mr. Darrin Lewis.
What's up, guys?
Mr. Jeremy Jones.
What's up?
And these guys are the ones who make this all happen here, basically, run the sound, do all the bookings. Yeah. Basically, you just take care of the whole entire entertainment part of MapleGrove Tavern.
Yeah, from beginning to end, we kind of handle, like Jeremy will kind of take most of the booking and set up the bands, find openers, you know, for headliners, and either one of us will kind of do the sound and lights for the night of the show.
Yeah, and for anybody else to know, MapleGrove is also owned by Nick Suma, who he owned Geno's. We did the Spooktacular episode, the Halloween one, from the basement over there at Geno's, and Nick's a friend of our, you know, everybody knows. But yeah, this is another, he owns this place also. He owns another place too.
He owns the old Brooklyn Social Club.
The old Brooklyn Social Club. So those three bars, visit them if you want and support Nick Suma.
Definitely.
But anyway, so you guys, one of the reasons we're here is because we're having the concert here for the Level Up Concert Series.
Yep.
We're doing it here June 10th. We got Craig Martini coming, Olathia, Bittersweet Revenge. You guys will be running sound that night.
Yes, correct.
I want to give everybody a kind of a tour of the facility here, kind of see what it's all about. We've played here, Pat and I have played here a few times, but it's been over a decade. Yeah. And it's a lot of changes. I mean, we come in here and the first thing I notice is the stage is completely in a completely different place.
Yeah, it's a whole new stage.
Yeah, right. Yeah, this stage used to be over there. Now it's right here in the middle. It's really centralized now versus it was kind of like tucked off into the side at one point. Now it's very centralized, big. You can comfortably fit 100 people in here, which is where we're maxing this out at. And so just wanted to talk to you guys about you guys. Yeah. You know, what get you to the point where you're doing sound. You guys are also in bands. You guys are also musicians.
Yep. Yeah.
Which is the case with a lot of engineers and a lot of your producers. They start off as musicians.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, when you're starting out as a young musician, there's a lot of stuff that you don't know how to do. And you either find people who can do that stuff for you, like run in sound or produce your record, or you try and figure out how to do it yourself. And I think that's what both of us did along the way. You know, we picked up these little skills that, you know, we were just kind of picking up to help our own bands. Then it kind of turned into a career of sorts.
You guys are playing in bands together. You guys are kind of like created a unit, right?
Yeah,
I mean, between the two of you, you guys do a lot of things together.
Yeah, we had separate bands before. I was in a band called To Live Is To Die. That was like my first professional band. And he was in a band called Gore Orphanage, I think it was.
I was in a bunch of stuff. Yeah. That was one of the one main big project besides being in Beside the Silence with you. I was in was Seek Shelter that people
and that's kind of how we met. I was in a band called Beside the Silence, and he was in Seek Shelter. We did some shows together, And then when Beside the Silence started touring, we were kind of going through members left and right. People would drop off.
What kind of music is it?
Metalcore, deathcore, industrial, kind of electronic-y, screamy stuff.
Cool.
Real heavy. And yeah, I needed a bass player for a tour.
My band had just ended, and Darrin asked me, "Hey, what's going on? Why you guys quitting?" And I gave him the story and let him know what was up. And then I think like a couple weeks later, you hit me up about, "Hey, would you possibly want to be a touring member?"
Yeah,
like a fill-in?
I sent him like an hour's worth of material, and he learned it in like 2 or 3 weeks before the tour.
Yeah, like a month.
Yeah.
Month or
So
something.
that's what you guys are doing. So right now, the situation is you have a studio, so you're basically recording and writing everything, playing all the musician instruments on the recording itself.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
And then to do this live, you're gonna have to get band members.
Yeah.
Kind of like the Nine Inch Nails, kind of.
Yeah.
Like Trent Reznor.
I don't have the courage to go up on a stage by myself to
Yeah,
do
right.
what I do.
It's kind of hard.
So.
You gotta
Right.
doing everything I just say.
But yeah, I really like that, like the live rock band aspect. So I really wanted to like actually put a band together.
And so that's where he comes in because he'll be playing bass, and you also do some keyboards, right? And you also play keyboards. So so you guys put keyboards through all this too. This is the whole kind of like symphonic type.
Oh yeah. I'm a big fan of like soundscapes, and like I listen to a lot of like movie soundtracks and scores and like orchestra music, and I like being taken on like musical journeys, if you will, just instrumental.
And I imagine that would help you with doing this kind of thing, also listening to that kind of thing because of all the different dynamics going on in that kind of music, like more of the classical type stuff where you have so many different things going on, so much separations and things that you have to.
Yeah, it's definitely a learned skill with mixing, and it is that separation. You listen to what's happening, whether it be an orchestra or a rock band, and you kind of have to isolate all these different sounds and what they're doing, what they are, how to make them sound the best they can. And that's kind of the struggle of, a live engineer. You have these tools to kind of get the band to sound the best they can in the room that they're in, and you chip at the bad stuff and bring the good stuff up, and you kind of learn that over the course of doing it for however long I've been doing it.
Yeah, how long have you been doing it? Do you know? I mean,
professionally, probably a decade, I would say.
And that's so you were doing this kind of thing before you came to MapleGrove?
Yeah. Just mostly working with friends' bands. I didn't have any like stationary venues that I worked at all the time, but if a friend was like putting on a show or something like that, they're like, "Hey, I want someone to do this," I'd go out and do that for them. But I was a drum tech for about a year and a half with a band called Avatar. And they're a Swedish metal band. And I was doing some pretty big stuff with them, some like arena tours, festival runs. And that's kind of how I got, not hooked up with Nick, because I kind of already knew Nick. I'm from the area. So I'm right down the street. So I've known Nick since I was like 15. But when the guy that they had in here was leaving, they needed someone. Nick knew that I was doing all this stuff with Avatar.
Right place, right time type thing?
Kind of, yeah. Like that ended right as they needed someone here, and it just kind of worked out. And it was good because I was kind of not sick of being on the road all the time, but it was a good 2 years. It was pretty solid just on the road. So it was nice to kind of have a home base to come to.
Right. Learn a lot of doing that kind of stuff, but it's also nice to have some little foundation where you can kind of like. And you guys have done a lot of stuff here. To improve this place also, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
this
like,
is my baby.
Yeah, right. This has become like your project, and so you're constantly always trying to figure out how to make it better and how to do this and that. And you guys got a pretty good year of stuff already booked here. I constantly am seeing like new stuff coming up constantly.
Yeah, what are we booked through?
Yeah, and that's your department,
I
most
got
like
stuff already in October that hasn't been announced yet. That won't be announced for a while.
Now, Jeremy, you're the one that usually does most of the bookings. Is that correct?
Yeah, I do most of the booking. If you email us, it's usually me that
answers.
Is answering, or on Facebook or Facebook posts. I've kind of accidentally become on social media the face for here, because for a while I think people were thinking I was Nick, and I'm like, I'm not the owner.
You were doing most of the responding on like social media. And
so
like
if
that,
people didn't know who owned the bar, I think they just assumed it was me, and it was like, no.
you were responding like they thought you the owner.
Yeah. But I guess I'd be the person that you would talk to that's like next in line.
Yeah, Jeremy kind of took the reins of the appointment. You know, if you need a point of contact to book here or kind of are interested in like renting a room or whatever, Jeremy's definitely bad.
Yeah, and I kind of fell into that because we had another guy, Mike, who around the time he left, I know didn't his father pass away or one of his parents did, and I think that just
it all kind of happened organically. We didn't really expect to be doing as much as we are doing.
Yeah.
When I picked up this place about 4 years ago, maybe, we were really only doing stuff like maybe once every other month, maybe every 3 months. And pretty much when Jeremy got on and like I really had like a partner to do all that work. So that's a tremendous amount of work.
Yeah.
Having this place running every
Wearing
week.
all those hats.
Yeah. And it really gave us the ability to like book all these shows and have like sometimes 2 or 3 shows a week. And
yeah, I mean that's what you guys are doing almost now, right? Almost weekly and sometimes 2, 3 shows a week.
Yeah, it's been great.
Yeah, and so like if somebody is that basically what's going on here though? Almost all these are booked through people getting in touch with you first and saying we want to come play there, and then it goes from there. Is that how this goes?
Now, yes. Last year there was a lot of like
A lot of footwork.
like
on
almost like posting like how places do for job openings, where you go in groups and be like, hey, I have these dates open. If anyone wants to book, here's how to get in contact. And now I rarely have to do that because I just get
the email's just going off all day, every day.
and then
so
and that's why I already have stuff in October and like the end of summer. Here or there, as it gets closer to those months, you get hit up more about like right now we're getting hit up more about like May and June. So
yeah, and I notice it's a lot. There's a lot more metal coming through here. There's a lot of metal acts coming through.
Yeah.
Not exclusively, but
No.
I mean, you guys even have comedy coming in here now, don't you?
Yeah.
So
we're
I
trying
mean,
to
like
bring
you
some
try,
other
a
stuff.
little more diverse.
Yeah, I think
but-
this has always kind of been like a hard rock metal bar. I mean, like that's kind of like the bands that just tend to gravitate towards here, and the crowd that tends to gravitate towards here. But we're definitely trying to like branch out a little bit,
little more
do
diverse.
some different stuff.
it's nice to keep it diverse.
Like we just did a Elvis tribute at last night, and it was awesome. Like,
Yeah, do they do well? Like stuff that when you like if you come off of what's kind of the norm, does it still do well here? Do you still see?
We just did what was the Black Sabbath
Ohio
tribute band?
Sabbath.
Ohio Sabbath and an Alice in Chains tribute.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And this
Youngtown.
place was sold out. Like,
No kidding.
Yeah, people love that stuff.
And is that how it works here? Basically, you come play here. There's a door. You charge the door. And you guys the band gets the door.
Yeah.
And that's it,
That's
right?
kind of the setup. I mean, we don't like really charge fee rentals too often. We try and just kind of have this as an open place for bands to put a show together, to get some stage time, to get in front of some people, and to also make some money.
Right.
As long as people are going to come see you, you're going to make some money.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we don't take merch cuts or anything.
Yeah,
like
we don't
that.
do nothing like that. As long as people are here
Because
drinking,
the
we're
way,
happy.
Yeah,
the
you
way
guys.
everything is set up, we don't have to like, if a show is a dud, for example, crowd wise, we don't have to be like, well, now we have to make up for it and the next night taking a cut of the band's merch sales or something.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, some shows are good, some shows aren't so good, and
Just like anything.
That's kind of local act, that's what you get into. The good shows make up for the bad shows, though, typically.
Yeah, basically, you guys are just running entertainment to sell alcohol.
Yeah,
That's the whole thing. That's what this is all
I mean,
about.
we just want people in here listening to music, having a good time.
And there's food here
drinking
too.
beer.
I mean, you guys got food. It's everything. And if you haven't been here, we're upstairs. This is this is a 2-level thing, 2 different bars, and unlike some places, this is kind of 2 separate entities. The way this is kind of set up.
Yeah.
It's that part hasn't changed because downstairs is more of the neighborhood bar. You got your food, you got your drinks, you got neighborhood, you got the regulars that are kind of downstairs. Up here is more of it's a different feel, it's a different vibe. It's like being transported to a different place.
Different realm, yeah.
Yeah, it is.
And that's kind of what's been good for this venue and what's made it last so long is with where other venues are kind of having trouble is we have that neighborhood bar downstairs that just kind of pays the bills and does what we need. And it gives us the opportunity to take a lot of chances up here. on shows that, okay, well, this show might not even be one person up here.
Yeah.
But we know that bills are paid and we're going to have another good show in the next week or two. So let's take a chance on this group of bands that maybe has never played before.
Yeah, that's cool.
And that's what we try and do, because we were in that position too, when we were first starting out, trying to find shows. And
so you don't feel like a do or die pressure for under everything, every decision. You guys have a little leeway, which allows you to get into the diversity that you're kind of like trying to get towards.
Right.
Helps you get towards it.
And it's like a sculpture, you kind of, you carve out and try and find like what works for the venue, and you try different things. Like we've thrown like goth nights and stuff like that here to try, see what works and what doesn't, and just diversity.
That and last year when I took over with booking, it was from the venue aspect. It was new to me because I've always booked for like bands I was in and whatnot. And the end of the year, I sat back and made a list of this is what worked, this is what didn't work, and I was like, how can we improve what worked and get rid of what didn't work?
And that's really what
it's kind of helped work itself out.
It's kind of been our philosophy, is just constantly reevaluating, what we're doing, constantly looking forward to what we could be doing, and seeing what the best opportunities are for us and the music scene in general.
Yeah. You guys have done some pretty interesting stuff here. I remember when Bill Peters did his 40th anniversary thing. That was here, and he had Night Demon here. I mean, you guys, this place must have been crazy.
Yes,
we had 2 nights with them.
That was that nobody even knows like what I went through. Yeah. Not saying like in a bad way, but like all the work I put into that.
To get that, to make that all happen.
There'd be days where I'd have to wake up like 45 minutes earlier, like when we were going to announce the ticket links, just to make them go live at the right time. So I could get that done and then go to my day job.
Oh, yeah.
So that it was
I see what you're saying.
Because I wouldn't be able to do it at 10 o'clock.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I think people don't realize how much work goes into putting on shows. It's a lot.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
No, there's a lot that goes into it. And then you get to the point of the show, and then the real work starts.
Yeah. Then you have the whole night to keep an eye on and make sure everything goes as flawlessly as you can.
Well, yeah, because there's a performance by you guys also. I mean, like these are the things that people don't realize, is that there's a performance going on back there that's just as important as what's going on up here, because if it sounds like shit,
right.
It's done. Nobody cares.
Everyone's going to look right at us.
Yeah, right, man. And you guys are positioned well. You guys they did a nice job. You guys be able to hear everything right there real nicely and everything. What would be some of the things that, like, is there anything that's different this year than last year that would be noticeable, that changes that you guys have made, or anything where improvements were anything noticeable? Like, did you guys improve the sound equipment at all, or anything like that?
We've gotten some new microphones.
Yeah.
Nothing like really groundbreaking. We're still running off our same speaker stacks and our same mixer.
What works though. Don't fix it if it ain't broken type thing. There, right?
And then during COVID, what was it, a couple months before we were allowed to have shows again? Remember me and him rewired the whole stage pretty much.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's kind of the key too, is upkeep. If you do a lot of maintenance on things, you don't need to replace stuff.
Yeah, that's true, man.
And after being here for 4 or 5 years, you kind of have like what we have here dialed in so good. Sometimes you just need to turn it on, turn the faders up, make the band loud, and it sounds great.
Yeah, right.
Right off rip. So, we'll be upgrading things over the years here and there, but we're kind of happy with where we're at.
So that's what happened. You guys, because you bring up COVID, like, you guys kind of came into this thing and then COVID hit, right? Yeah. That's kind of how that happened.
That's how I came in, because
you were like right before.
Darrin brought me in and I was just going to be like a second sound guy. And I was like basically interning with them, I guess you could say. And then that was like September-ish, 2019. And then March 2020 is when
all the shit hit, man.
Yeah.
And then so you guys basically at that point decided to put your energy into improving this place and those types of things, or I mean, you weren't having shows, right? I mean,
we really didn't do anything for like the first year.
Did he even shut this place down, or did he keep this open during the pandemic?
Downstairs?
Well, obviously there was parts where he couldn't open.
Right, yeah. He opened when you were able to open. He opened downstairs, but yeah, there was a good year. We really weren't doing much here. We were kind of just figuring out where the music, community was standing, because there was a lot of bands that just weren't doing anything.
Yeah, there's a startup again,
There
right?
was a lot of bands that were breaking up.
There was a lot of people just streaming themselves.
Yeah,
playing at
that became
home.
real popular.
And
Right?
I thought about, hey, should I just do that? So I started playing more guitar and stuff like that during
That
the
died.
pandemic.
Thank God you didn't go that route. 'Cause
Right.
That's not as popular as it was there for a while. I mean, even a lot of the, I think we like this setting a lot better, and it's nice that we could do this again.
Yeah.
Where we could actually get together with people and had talk and stuff.
It's definitely different. For
Yeah,
sure.
because the Zoom thing became real popular because of that and stuff, and it was cool for a while. But there's this, when you can get together with people and do this,
There's no alternative than a face-to-face.
No,
Well,
it's
like
not.
you come to a concert to have the experience, not just to see it and listen. That you're doing that still, but
Yeah, you're coming for everything. You're coming for the energy.
You're not
coming
gonna
for
have the
lights. You're
same-
coming for the smell of the beer.
100%. There is a whole vibe that goes along with that was missing. I
that
think it
you
was
can't
gone.
get off of watching like a video performance. or
Yeah,
anything.
and I watched a couple of like full production like stream concerts like during COVID, and like they were cool, like cool lighting, cool like video work, but it just wasn't the same as just going to see a band, even like a small show like this.
Have you guys noticed, like, because I know when COVID ended and people started to ease back into all this, there was a lot of hesitance, a lot of unsureness with people. This did take a little while to kind of take off again.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I'm wrong, but I've noticed this year in particular, it seems like there's a new energy this summer approaching
There
where
is.
everyone's booking gigs. Everyone's putting festival type gigs together too. There's a lot of multiple band type things going on where you're seeing like 12, 15 bands on and weekend shows, a lot more than usual even. I mean, it just seems like this might be the year where it just goes full back to even where we overcompensate, maybe, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and I think we will have that too. With all the bands going out, with all the concerts happening, obviously there's only so many entertainment dollars to compete with. So we're definitely gonna, I think, see a lot of oversaturation the next year, but I think it will be good in the sense that it's gonna start getting people out more. People are gonna start wanting to go to these concerts. It's gonna start getting the music industry moving, which I think is a big thing, because it's been kind of standstill.
Last August I read that somewhere took a survey, and during COVID they said 90% of people said they would go back to live events whenever they could. They said as of like August of last year, it was at 25% of people that of those
people are getting more
90%.
comfortable.
only 25 of them actually
have gone out like last year, and it looks like this year that's more,
I think it definitely seems that way.
I think more and more that'll happen the next year and so on.
Yeah. Now, for instance, one of the acts that are going to be at our show June 10th, Malathia, they just did that shotgun concert at the Beachland Ballroom,
Right.
and it was packed.
Yeah, I saw. Some
Yeah, it
pictures
was.
of that.
I went. It was. There's tons of people there. It was amazing. I was like, wow, it was good. It felt good to see all the people there because it was like, wow, dude, this is.
And I'm
you
hoping
can feel it.
people, especially with how much tickets are for these big production shows. You're spending like $300 on just a normal nosebleed section ticket.
What was the incarceration? $200
That sounds
a
about
night.
right. Yeah. So I'm hoping those high prices are going to start bringing people more into the clubs.
I
to
agree.
see, local acts and start seeing some smaller bands.
Hell yeah! Well, I think that's a big part of the whole Level Up concert series thing that we were doing was that this is what's going on. Yeah, Pantera announces that they're going to come and tour.
Yeah.
Right, that big announcement comes, and you kind of had a feeling this was going to be more of a festival type thing because of the whole situation that's out there today.
Sure. Yeah.
But that's exactly what they do. Then they go to incarceration, and to see that night, you got to pay $200 and some. And if you're going to see Pantera, it's not even Pantera.
And really, most of those kind of festivals, the bands are playing 15 minutes a pop anyway.
Yeah, because they gotta get 50 bands.
They churn them in and out, and I don't know if I'm going to, especially if I'm paying a lot of money to see a band, I'd rather just see a headlining.
Hell yes, and you can, and not only that, but you're no matter where I'm at in this place right here, I'm front row anywhere else.
Yeah.
Pretty
You know
much.
what I mean? So it's like you can literally. For $15, that's what we're charging. You can come in here and see 3 excellent bands you have the intimacy. You can sit right here at the bar and still be. You
you
can
don't even
spit
have to
on the band
turn
stuff.
from the
And
stage
you're not
to go to the bar.
gonna you're not gonna pay ridiculous bar prices.
Yeah, you're not paying. What are people charging, like $14 for a Bud Light nowadays?
Well, yeah, if you're going to like
downtown.
Blossom, you're going to any of those places
like,
to go see
yeah.
a show, or you think Incarceration's not going to be $15 for a
Right.
beer? So yeah, all that stuff. You know, I mean, like, there's a lot to be said about the music scene too in Cleveland right now. It's popping. It's coming back. There's a lot of great bands out there.
I agree.
There really are a lot of top musicians.
Yeah, it seems like too a lot of bands I think are becoming more active again now versus last year.
Yeah, a lot of people were just kind of laying low.
yeah, I
They
think
weren't really
that's-
sure what.
That's what I mean. I think there
I
was just
think
a
crowd wise and band wise, people were just trying to see what's going to happen because they didn't want to get back in the swing of things, and then
it gets shut down.
the rug's
Yeah.
pulled out from underneath them again.
Yeah.
Now, if anybody doesn't know, what we're going to probably end up doing here that night on June 10th is we're going to probably set up an hour early before the show even starts, and we're going to do a whole live broadcast right from here. The whole podcast will be live. We'll probably have the bands here. We'll be interviewing them. Also, part of that whole hour thing. And we'll be taking random people. Anybody that's around an hour before, if you get here early, we'll sit you down and talk to you for a little while. I don't care who it is. It's going to be kind of a revolving door type thing, kind of a free for all, and just to kind of build things up for that moment before the show starts. And then you guys will be doing your thing.
Yeah, that sounds cool, man.
Yeah,
I'm excited
so-
for that.
All right, I think that's it. I think that's all we got. Unless you guys got something else to talk about. I know what one thing I do want. Anything going on this summer coming up here that you got booked that you guys want? Anything
Yeah, anything
anything
of note
special?
you
Any
wanna
bigger?
There is, but I can't announce it.
We have a Cheap Trick cover band I saw on the door.
Yes. And actually, I just got Ohio Sabbath on that one.
Oh, Ohio Sabbath. So it's a Sabbath tribute.
Yeah.
Sweet,
they have
sweet.
I think they have a female vocalist out there.
Yeah, Ohio Sabbath does.
You guys seen a lot of
Great.
tributes? See a lot of tribute bands?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
that's become a thing, right? I mean,
Yeah, it's cool. It's people like, songs they know. People like going,
Yeah.
as much as I love seeing new music and like love seeing raw, just rock bands, it's nice going and just like knowing every song that's coming off the stage.
hell yeah. And plus, when you can't see the band you really want to see because they're not coming to Cleveland.
Yeah,
They're going
Even
to
if they do,
Detroit
it's
or
going to be $400.
and then it's going to be so much money.
Yeah.
You're right, though. I mean, and some of these tribute bands, man,
They nail it.
yeah, dude, it's like, man, they're good, so it's worth seeing.
So yeah, definitely check out the Facebook. We have all of our upcoming events on our Facebook. MapleGrove Tavern.
Yeah, and I think you said you were going to work on the actual website.
Yeah, we have a website, MapleGroveTavern.com.
Oh, cool.
That we're still kind of like building up, and we'll have all those shows on that. Definitely check out my project, Nothing Valentine, on Spotify.
Yeah, definitely.
If you're into like new metal, goth stuff. Jeremy's also involved with that. So
Yeah.
check that
Playing
out.
bass
And
and
check
whatnot.
out.
And if you guys are playing out live, would this be like one of the first places you
Yeah,
guys would
definitely.
probably-
Yeah, we're gonna pop the cherry.
It kind of makes sense, right? It would make sense.
Yeah.
All right, keep an eye out for that also.
Oh yeah.
All right, Darrin and Jeremy. When you guys are down here watching the show, don't forget to say hi to these guys. Buy them a beer.
Yeah, we like
Yeah, they like
We'll
beer.
be up in the booth over there.
Yeah. Just don't ask us to turn the guitars up or down.
Oh yeah. That's another thing, real quick. Like what's with that? Every time you see like somebody live, you always say they always try to be discreet about it. They're always like,
Yeah.
is there like a universal symbols for any of this
Yeah,
stuff?
well, on stage you kind of keep locked eyes on the musicians, and you can kind of like up down.
Yeah, I kind of tell.
It's the people that kind of crawl up to the sound booth and is like, "Hey, can you turn my boyfriend up a little?"
Oh,
bit?
that kind of
Like
stuff.
I'm in the process of doing that.
Boyfriend.
Yeah, that's when you just turn a knob that doesn't do anything.
Yeah,
You're like,
you
"Does
have
that
a
sound
dummy
better?"
knob.
And
You-
they're like, "Yeah, that sounds awesome."
A placebo, but
Yeah, everyone's
right.
happy.
I've had that happen where I'm about to like turn the monitors up, and then the guy's like, "Yeah, that sounds better," and it's like I haven't even done.
Yeah,
it.
right. Yeah, it's a placebo. You just they think
exactly right.
their ears heard it. Oh, thank you. All right, that's it from us. We will see you guys next week, and don't forget June 10th, right here at the MapleGrove Tavern.
Definitely.
Love concert series. We have Craig Martini, Olathia, and Bittersweet Revenge. That starts at 8 o'clock, but get here at 7, and we will be doing the live podcast. See you guys Saturday. This June 10th, Level Up Cleveland Concert Series presents Bittersweet Revenge.
You can try and live, but you have to try to die.
Olathia.
Time to rock and roll, ready for the show.
and Craig Martini. See them all June 10th at the MapleGrove Tavern. Show starts at 8 p.m. 21 or over. Go to levelupcleveland.com for tickets and information.
That'll be fine.